Luke chapter 12. Meanwhile, large crowds had gathered by the tens of thousands, and they were trampling on each other. Yeshua told his disciples, "First of all, watch out for the leaven of the Pharisees. They are con men. There is nothing hidden that won't be revealed, no secret that won't be known. Anything you said in the dark will be heard in the light, and anything you have whispered in someone's ear in a private room will be shouted from the housetops. But to you, my friends, I say, don't be afraid of those who can kill the body, because afterward there is nothing more they can do. But I'll show you who to be afraid of. Be afraid of the one who has the authority to cast you into Gehenna after killing you. Yes, I tell you, be afraid of him. Aren't 5 sparrows sold for 2 asarii? Yet Jehovah hasn't forgotten one of them. As for you, the very hairs on your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are far more precious than many sparrows. I tell you that everyone who acknowledges me in public, the human Son, will also acknowledge before Jehovah's messengers. But anyone who rejects me publicly will be rejected before Jehovah's messengers. Anyone who speaks a word against the human Son can have it disregarded. But anyone who blasphemes the Kaddish Spirit won't have their sin disregarded. When they put you on trial in the synagogues before leaders and top magistrates, don't worry about how you will defend yourself or what you'll say, because the Kaddish Spirit will instruct you about what you need to say at that very moment. Master, tell my brother to give me a share of the inheritance. But Yeshua replied, Man, who made me your judge or arbitrator? He told his disciples, Be on your guard against any kind of greed, because life isn't about having lots of things. He gave them another analogy. What should I do? I don't have enough room to store all of my crops. He thought, This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my storehouses and rebuild them larger, and I will store all my grain and my goods there. Then I'll say to myself, I have accumulated enough goods to last for many years. I'll take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But Jehovah told him, You ignorant man, tonight your life will be demanded back. Now, who will get all your things? This is what awaits anyone who accumulates wealth for himself, but doesn't have riches with Jehovah. He told his disciples, So I tell you not to worry about your life, what you'll eat or what you'll wear on your body. Life is far superior to food, and the body is superior to clothing. Consider the ravens. They don't sow or harvest, or have cellars and storehouses, yet Jehovah feeds them. How much more important are you than birds? Which of you can add a cubit to your height by worrying? If you can't control the least of things, why are you worried about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They don't work and they don't spend, yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was clothed like one of them. If Jehovah clothes the vegetation of the fields that's thrown into the oven tomorrow, how much more will he care for you, you with little faith? Don't ask what you will eat or what you will drink, or worry about those things. Everyone on earth is preoccupied with those things, and your Father knows that you need these things too. But strive for the kingdom of Jehovah, and all these things will be given to you as well. Don't be afraid, little flock, because your Father is delighted to give you the kingdom. Sell your property and give to those in need. Don't be afraid, little flock, because your Father is delighted to give you the kingdom. Sell your property and give it to those in need. Make yourselves money bags that will never wear out, and an inexhaustible treasure in heaven where no thief can get near it, or any moth can destroy it. Your treasure is in your mind. Be dressed for action, and keep your lamps burning. Be like people who expect their master to return, so that when he returns from the wedding festivity and he comes and knocks, they'll open the door for him immediately. The master's servants will be blessed when he comes and finds them still awake. Those servants will be blessed. But be sure of this, if the owner of the house had known the exact watch when the thief was coming, he would have been awake and wouldn't have allowed his house to be broken into. So be ready, because the human son will return at a time when you're not expecting him. Simon Cephas asked, "Master, are you giving this analogy to us or to everyone?" Yeshua replied, "So who is the faithful and wise manager that the master will put in charge of his entire household, giving them their fair share of the food at the right time? The master's servants will be blessed when he comes, and he finds them still serving. I tell you with absolute certainty that he will put him in charge of everything he owns. But if the head servant thinks to himself, 'My master is postponing his return,' and starts beating the men and women servants, and starts whining and dining and getting drunk, that servant's master will come on a day when he isn't expecting him, and at a time of day when he doesn't suspect, and will cut him in two, and make him share the lot of the unfaithful. The servant who knew what his master wanted, but wouldn't do what was instructed, will be beaten with many stripes, while the person who did something deserving stripes and ignorance will be beaten with fewer stripes. Much is required of anyone who is given much, and much is expected from anyone who has been entrusted with much. I came to rain fire on the earth, and I wish the burning had already begun. I have an immersion to undergo, and I'll be very distressed until it's finished. Do you think I came to bring world peace? No, I tell you that I came to cause separation. From this time on there will be 5 people in one house, who will be in opposition, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. A father will be opposed to his son, and a son opposed to his father, a mother opposed to her daughter, and a daughter opposed to her mother, a mother-in-law opposed to her daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law opposed to her mother-in-law." He said to the crowd, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you immediately say, 'Rain is coming,' and it happens. And when the south wind blows, you say, 'It will be hot,' and so it is. You pretenders, you know how to analyze the signs in the sky and on the earth, but why can't you analyze the present time? Why can't you decide for yourselves what is right? When you go with the adversary to the magistrate, while on the way try to negotiate with him. Otherwise he will bring you to a judge, and the judge might hand you over to a jailer, and the jailer could throw you in prison. I tell you, you will get out of there until you pay the very last shemona."